A middle-aged man fed up with his 9 to 5 job, a homemaker hoping to work from home and earn a bit on the side, and a retired gentleman looking for a little extra income. Different lives, different dreams, but all of them had the same ending. They were duped by trading FURUs. These stories aren't rare. In fact, they've become very common. Just in the past year, SEBI has pulled up some of the biggest names in the FURU business. From the Bap of charts to Asmita Patel, and now just last week, Avadut Sathe has come under SEBI's investigation. The pattern is clear. Promise people whatever they are desperate for, sell them the dreams of guaranteed profits and overnight wealth, and walk away with their money. In this episode, I'll tell you 3 stories. Stories of ordinary people like you and me who genuinely believed that learning trading could change their lives. The intentions were honest, but the world that they stepped into was anything but fair. All 3 of them ended up losing not just money, but their peace of mind and perhaps even carrying scars that'll last a lifetime. And here's why you should keep listening and perhaps even share this episode with your friends and family. Not only will I walk you through the modus operandi of these trading education scamsters, but I'll also give you a simple checklist that'll help you identify a scamster long before they scam you. At the end, I'll share free practical and reliable ways to learn about the stock markets, along with the steps you can take to raise a complaint if you've ever been scammed. I'm your host Sandeep Rao, and this is an episode about the dark side of trading education in India. I've got 3 stories for you today, and this is the first. It's a story of Anil. He's 42 years old and has spent nearly 20 years working in the IT sector. Like many of us, he had grown weary of the 9 to 5 grind, the endless deadlines, office politics, and a creeping sense that he could lose his job anytime, leaving him with almost no fallback option. He had managed to save a decent amount over the years, and lately he'd been thinking, instead of slogging day in and day out, why can't I make my money work for me? One evening, while doom scrolling on Instagram, an advert caught his attention. It promised, spend just 15 minutes a day and earn up to 50,000 a month. No complex indicators, no major setup needed, just 15 minutes a day, it said. The best part, a free seminar scheduled conveniently over the weekend. What could go wrong by attending a free seminar after all, thought Anil. And so he went. The venue was a plush hotel in the city, the kind you'd normally associate with corporate conferences. The banquet hall was full, there were free refreshments, there were many men and some women, all carrying the same hope perhaps, to learn the secret of money making outside of their mundane jobs. The place had a buzz to it, with dozens of people in branded t-shirts representing the FURU moving around the hall, smiling and guiding everyone. Everything felt a bit larger than life. Then the FURU makes a dramatic entry into the hall, flanked by 4 or 5 bouncers. All the people in the crowd rushed towards him, some touched his feet. Once on the stage, he radiated confidence, speaking about how he quit his own job, how he now lived life on his own terms, and how his students were earning lakhs by following his strategies. Behind him, the projector flashed slides that promised guaranteed returns, sure shot daily profits, and strategies that could supposedly turn 30,000 rupees into 3 lakhs in a single day sometimes. And then came the moment that sealed it for Anil. A few ex-students walked into the room carrying gifts for the guru. They were ushered into the front and introduced one by one. He was once like you, sitting in this very hall. Look at him now. The FURU even handed one of them the mic. The student was a bit emotional when he spoke about how these strategies had changed his life, how he was now making consistent profits, and how he wished he had started earlier. The room erupted in applause. For Anil, this was the proof. If they could do it, why not him? So, when the FURU revealed the course fee, just about 30,000 rupees, it seemed fair. After all, who would share money-making strategies like this for free? Thinking of the fees, Anil thought to himself as if it was an investment of sorts for his future, a small price to pay for lifelong financial freedom. He would anyways have spent that money on a holiday or something else. But what he got in return for the fees paid was anything but education. The course turned out to be a little more than an access to a Telegram group filled with buy-sell tips and constant pressure to upgrade to an even more expensive advanced course. At first, Anil tried to follow along, but the promised profits never came. His trades were always in losses, his savings depleted, and with every loss came a new push from the FURU. Maybe you need the advanced course. Maybe you need to commit more capital. Within months, the dream of financial freedom was long gone. The 15-minute miracle that was supposed to give Anil freedom from his job had instead eaten into his savings of 20 years. He wasn't just poorer, he was humiliated, shaken, and angry at himself for having been taken for a royal ride. The second story is about Divya. She's 36 years old, on a career break to take care of her kids. With one income less in the household, money had started to feel a little tight. The stress of being out of a job weighed in on her, and like many people in her position, she began looking at ways to contribute to her family financially without having to leave home. One evening, while searching on YouTube about how to learn trading, an ad popped up. It was a woman trainer, around the same age as Divya, sharing a story that felt strikingly similar. She too had taken a break from her career, and trading had helped her build a steady side income. With just 1 lakh capital, you could earn 15 to 20,000 rupees consistently a month, said the trainer in the advert. The trainer, or the FURU in question, seemed to have made it, as she had received some awards from prominent women entrepreneurs. To Divya, it sounded exactly what she had in mind. The initial webinar was free for women. The trainer came across as confident, approachable, relatable, and by the end of the free webinar, the details were shared. A workshop for 4 weeks in total, for an investment of just Rs 20,000. They also promised that the fee would get recovered in just about a month of trading. Along with it, the trainer suggested opening a free trading account with a specific broker. So far, it felt all okay, and Divya signed up. The strategies taught were nothing fancy. Simple moving average crossovers, buy when the lines intersect this way, sell when the lines intersect that way, stuff which did seem easy but at the same time fascinating for Divya. The catch? She had to sit in front of the screen for hours anxiously waiting for the signals. She tried it diligently for a few weeks but ended up net in losses. Even on days when she made profit, the transaction costs ate into her gains. Her 20,000 had already been burnt, and her trading account, which was funded with 1 lakh, was now down by another 30,000. Totally frustrated, she went back to the assigned mentor. The advice was quick. If you're serious, fund your account with another lakh. We will manage it for you for a small fee of just around 10,000. Desperate to turn things around, Divya agreed. At first, it seemed like a good decision. She started seeing small profits in her account. 5,000 on a capital of 1.7 lakh. A few weeks later, it was up by another 7,000. Her confidence grew. The system seemed to work in her favor when the experts were handling it. Then came a call from the trainer's office suggesting that she should add more capital to scale up her returns. But this time they asked her to open a second broking account with a different broker and transfer money there. Since things were working now, Divya obliged, trusting the process. And again, she saw initial profits, this time 10,000 on the fresh 1 lakh. She was thrilled. It was the weekend and she even went on a weekend shopping spree, finally feeling that she had made the right choice. Then came Monday. When she tried logging into her second broking account, she couldn't. The password didn't work. The helpline number she had been given suddenly went invalid. She panicked, obviously, and called her assigned mentor. The reply was cold. We don't know anything about the second broking account. We only handle the first one. They even confirmed that no one from their office had called her for the second broking account. It was too late. Divya had been scammed in more ways than one. The small profits were just a bait. The second account was a complete scam on a fake app. Her savings were gone, her trust shattered. She almost felt suicidal. The third story is about Mr. Rajaram. He's a retired state government employee living alone in Bangalore, while his only son is settled in Australia. One afternoon, he received a phone call from an unknown number. The voice on the other side asked him in Kannada if he'd be interested in trading stocks from home. A way to generate some side income from his savings, they said. Curious, he asked them the two most obvious questions. How much can I make and how much capital do I need? The reply was smooth and quick. Sir, you can easily make 10% a month. You only need to start with 1 lakh minimum, and don't worry, our classes are online. The classes will be in Kannada only. That comfort of being spoken to in his mother tongue mattered to him. Mr. Rajaram wasn't fluent in Hindi or English, but here was a team that said they would guide him in Kannada. It made the offer feel more accessible, tailored just for him. The initial step seemed harmless. It was to attend a 4-hour Sunday webinar for just Rs 4,000. The webinar would be recorded even if he missed it. Even then, Mr. Rajaram was a bit cautious and at the same time equally curious. So he called his son in Australia, explained the offer to him. The son thought, it's just 4,000, what's the harm? At least dad will learn something new, keep himself engaged. He even offered to pay the fee for his dad. So, Mr. Rajaram attended the session. But instead of any sort of structured learning, most of the time was spent on some trope about how tracking moon cycles can help you predict market moves, how easy investing supposedly is and how we unnecessarily complicate it. It sounded motivational, but there was nothing actionable as such. Nothing as a beginner one could use. After the 4-hour session, Mr. Rajaram felt a bit skeptical. When he searched online on YouTube, he figured out there were multiple testimonials from ex-students and they spoke about attending a residential program and how it wasn't just about trading but also included yoga sessions, meditation, and something called mindset trading. It was touted as a holistic, life-changing spiritual experience of sorts and not merely about money-making. To Mr. Rajaram, it added a layer of credibility, almost as if it was a well-known, credible institute rather than just one-man show trying to focus on trading. After the 4-hour Sunday webinar, the participants of the batch were simply added to a couple of Telegram groups where buy and sell alerts would appear. Mr. Rajaram could make no sense of these alerts. When he called the local representative for help, the suggestion came instantly. Sir, if you want proper handholding, you should attend the 1-week residential course in Mumbai. Many people like you come there. The fee is only 1 lakh including the stay. After the 1-week course, you'll be fully confident. Mr. Rajaram was now able to connect the dots. What he saw on YouTube was about this particular course. While Mr. Rajaram was almost convinced, he still called his son again, explaining the new offer. This time, something didn't sit right with the son. From Australia, he reached out to a few friends in India to check on this training program. And luckily, most of his friends told him that it's a scam and it's better avoided. Mr. Rajaram had a narrow escape. All he lost was Rs 4,000 for that initial webinar, but not everyone gets that lucky. So you've just heard 3 very different stories. Anil, the IT professional looking for freedom from his mundane 9-to-5 job, Divya, the homemaker trying to support a family from home, and Mr. Rajaram, the retired gentleman hoping for a safe second income. Different ages, different backgrounds, different dreams. But the playbook used against them was almost identical. And that's the most important part to understand. These so-called trading gurus aren't running some random scheme. They are following a clear modus operandi, a step-by-step approach designed to look convincing and to make you part with your money. Before you realize it, it's way too late. Let me walk you through how this works. Step 1 is, let's call it the hook. It always begins with a hook. A flashy ad on Instagram, a smooth talking video on YouTube, or a friend forwarding a Telegram link. The message is irresistible. Earn 50,000 a month with just 15 minutes a day. Our strategies work with 90% accuracy. Financial freedom is just a click away. All of that. The hook is designed to make you curious and build trust at the same time. It promises big results with very little effort. A dream every overworked professional, every homemaker, and every retiree has. Sometimes the hook includes FURU showing off his or her lifestyle, cars, watches, foreign holidays, you name it. Sometimes they use client testimonials to share a relatable story. Stuff like, I was once like you, stuck in a job, stressed about expenses until I found trading. The hook is never about teaching you trading. It's always about drawing you in so that you can take the next step. Step 2. More social proof and testimonials. Once the hook has pulled you in, the next step is to make you believe in it. This is where the FURUs show what is called proof of success. The stage, Whether it's a hotel seminar or an online webinar, is filled with stories of transformation. Sometimes it's ex-students walking in with gifts, introduced to the crowd as living examples. He was once like you, sitting right there. Look at him now, consistent profits and financial freedom. Sometimes the mic is handed over and the so-called student delivers a short but emotional testimonial about how these strategies changed their life forever. Other times it's dial-ins or video clips of people vouching for the methods taught by the FURU. Senior citizens, homemakers, young professionals, carefully chosen to look like you so that you can see yourself in them. And if you search online afterwards, you'll often find YouTube videos and social media posts that echo the same message. More testimonials, more success stories, more social proof. Sometimes they even position it as a lifestyle program, where they say we don't just teach trading, we teach wealth creation methods and wellness, yoga, mindset, spirituality, a mix of everything. It's all carefully crafted. The goal isn't to educate. The goal is to remove any skepticism you may have about the FURU in question, so that when the real pitch comes, you are more than willing to pay. Step 3. The first sale. Creating a low-cost entry point. After the hook has grabbed your attention and the testimonials have convinced you that it's real, comes the first financial commitment. The strategy here is simple. Make it look affordable, almost trivial. A free seminar leads to a weekend workshop, a 15 to 20,000 rupees worth online course, or just rupees 10,000 for a starter pack of strategies that you're told you'll recover in just 1 or 2 trades. The pricing here is deliberate. Not so cheap that it looks worthless, but not so expensive that you hesitate too much. It's pitched as a no-brainer. You're also made to think, why would anyone really share money-making strategies for free after all? So it's fine to pay. At this stage, you're told you learn all the secrets, trading techniques, sure-shot strategies, guaranteed return methods, all that. The stuff you'd been waiting for. But what you actually get is basic material dressed up as premium. Moving average crossovers, buy-sell signals based on some super trend like indicator, all generic stuff that you can find for free on YouTube. The real goal was never about making you rich. It was about making you pay. And once they have made you pay, the mental barrier in you is broken. You are now invested. And that makes you far more likely to pay again whenever an upsell opportunity is presented to you. They would also try their best to squeeze anything they can from you, including broking commissions on the trades that they ask you to take. That's the key reason many FURUs would ask you to open a new broking account. Step 4. It's upsell time, premium courses, bigger promises. Once you cross the first payment barrier, the real game begins. Not for you, for the FURU that is. The FURUs know you're already invested now. Not just financially, but emotionally as well. You will be telling yourself, I already spent 20k, I can't quit now, I need to recover this money, come what may. That's sunk cost fallacy at play, and that's when they start pushing you further. The upsell usually comes in 2 forms, premium courses or more advanced, better strategies. Now, all of a sudden, they start sounding that the starter course was not enough. You are told there is a pro batch or a premium mentorship where the real strategies are going to be taught. The fees would now jump to 50,000, 1 lakh, sometimes even more. The promise with these advanced strategies is that the losses vanish and the profits will multiply. If you hesitate, they may even offer EMI plans to you. Tell you, why wait to change your life? Pay in installments. After all, you pay EMIs for bikes, cars. Why not for an investment in your life's future? Some even suggest taking personal loans or liquidating investments like FDs to pay for the advanced course. Testimonials also reinforce it. I borrowed money for this course and I recovered it in just 3 months. But in reality, the education and the learning part doesn't get any better. The advanced content is often the same recycled material peppered with more jargon. What perhaps changes is the pressure. Pressure to trade bigger, to put more capital, and stay in the cycle. By this time, in your own mind, the idea of learning is long gone. You are just accumulating losses, hoping against hope, and sinking deeper into a trap. At this point, as a victim, you face a crossroad of sorts. Either take the further upsell, a new mentor, a new course at a discount, or like many who smell a rat at this point, you have a choice to leave. Either way, the result is positive for the FURU. If you stay on, they extract more money from you, and if you leave, they've already made enough money from you through the fees. The game was never about teaching you trading. It was always about making money from you, because they cannot make money from the markets. Step 5. The aftermath, the losses, regret, and a shattered dream. At the end of this journey, the outcome is almost always the same. For some, it's the hard-earned money lost, loans taken, capital wiped out in trades that never had a chance to win anyways. For others, it's an emotional cost. Sleepless nights, fights at home, the humiliation of admitting they were duped, and for many, it's both. The victims are often left with nothing more than WhatsApp or Telegram chat histories, half-baked trading PDFs, and a pile of losses. Some don't even realize they were never being taught trading. They were simply paying for glorified tips, which is illegal in itself. By this point, the FURU has already moved on, launching a new batch, rebranding under a new name, or uploading fresh testimonials on social media. And thus, the cycle continues. Sometimes SEBI does step in. We've seen this recently with Bap of Charts, Asmita Patel, and now Avadhut Sathe, who's under investigation. While SEBI is doing and does what it can, but regulation and convicting offenders takes time. And for victims, recovery is almost impossible. The sad truth is that, ironically, the promise of financial freedom turns into financial dependence. The dream of learning a skill becomes a nightmare of being scammed. And this is why it becomes so important to understand their playbook, to see the red flags before you step onto this slippery path. So I'm going to share with you a checklist to help you spot a trading FURU before it's too late. Number 1. Blanket advertising everywhere. If you are seeing the same trading program or the same FURU advertised everywhere, from Instagram to YouTube, Facebook, even hoardings in your city, catchy jingles on the radio, in all probability it's a scam. Genuine educators don't flood social media with marketing. They just cannot afford it in the first place. Only those selling dreams, not real skills, spend that kind of money on promotion and marketing. Number 2. Guaranteed returns or accuracy claims. 90% accuracy, sure short trades, 10% a month. Like it or leave it, in stock markets, nothing is guaranteed. The moment you hear certainty and guarantee, you are being sold a fantasy. Number 3. Flashy lifestyle, grandeur, luxury cars, foreign trips, 5-star hotel seminars, expensive watches, bouncers around. When the pitch is about lifestyle and not learning, you're not buying knowledge. You're buying into hype. Number 4. Perfect testimonials. Ex-students sharing dramatic success stories, glowing YouTube reviews. They're often planted or staged to build trust. This is practically kindergarten level marketing. Number 5. The low-cost entry point, free webinars, 5,000 to 20,000 rupee workshops, starter programs, it's all a hook. Once you pay, you'll be nudged for premium courses, EMIs, or even loans. Number 6. SEBI registration. Always ask if they are registered with SEBI as an investment advisor or research analyst. If they aren't, you have no formal route to raise a complaint against them. Registration doesn't guarantee quality of training, but what it does is it gives you protection, as it's easier for you to raise a complaint against a registered entity. Point number 7. Capital versus course fee. If the course costs you more than the money you actually plan to trade with, that's a very big red flag, and stop right away. That money is better used as capital in safe, regulated investments. Now, after hearing all this, you might be wondering, alright, if not these FURUs, then where do I actually learn trading from? The truth is, you don't have to spend a single rupee chasing someone's secret formula. There are credible platforms that already have everything you need to learn in the world of trading and investing, all free of cost. One of the best places to start is Varsity by Zerodha. Varsity is a structured, chapter-wise guide to markets, from the very basics of investing and trading to technical analysis, derivatives, risk management, you name it. They have it all. It's written in a simple conversational language, and it's completely free. If you prefer videos, that's also there. No upsell, no hidden agenda, no Telegram group, Just pure, well-explained content that you can revisit anytime. And if you prefer learning with a little bit more guidance, there's Varsity Live as well. These are instructor-led sessions, again, absolutely free. You can attend, interact, learn trading concepts from ground up without spending a single penny. Beyond Varsity and Varsity Live, there are free investor education modules offered by NSE Academy on a wide variety of topics. You already have enough and more material than any FURU can ever teach you. The only thing that you need to add is patience, practice, and a bit of discipline. So remember, you don't have to pay lakhs to learn trading. The real knowledge is already out there, free, practical, and trustworthy. Now maybe as you're listening, you realize you or someone you know has already been scammed in a similar trading education program. If that's the case, don't stay silent. Here's what you should do. Gather evidence, that is, keep records of payments, UPI transfers, bank statements, course receipts, save emails, WhatsApp messages, Telegram chats, and screenshots of ads and testimonials. Raise a complaint with SEBI. Write to SEBI at sebi.gov.in with the subject line "Complaint against unregistered investment advisor." Attach your evidence and clearly write down what happened and how you were scammed. You can also send a written letter to SEBI Bhavan in Mumbai. Escalate locally if needed. File a complaint with the city's economic offences wing or cybercrime police. If it was sold to you as a course, you may even approach the consumer court. But most important, talk about it. Share your experience with friends, family so that others don't fall for the same trap. Many victims keep quiet out of shame. But being silent helps the scammer even more. Remember, you may not recover the money you lost, but your complaint can help stop the cycle of scam and protect many others. SEBI's actions you heard about earlier on Bapav Charts and Asmita Patel all started with people like you speaking up. So don't let embarrassment or fear hold you back. If you've been a victim, take action. Because the faster these scams are reported, the fewer the victims in future. Lastly, if this episode resonated with you, share it with people who you think might be tempted by a FURUs course. The more we spread awareness, the harder it gets for the scammers to survive. Thank you for watching and always play it safe with your money.